Welcome back to Wave of Dalker, Week in Music number 41. 5 albums this week. Once again, on the realigned Week in Music rating system. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment some albums, and here they are. Album number 1 of the week, A New Place 2 Drowned by Archie Marshall, the alter ego, or I guess pre-ego, original ego of King Krule, great artist. The Ooze, great album. Also some other works that I've listened to by him. I saved this album a while ago after listening to that Mount Kimby album that featured King Krule, and I was like, similar artist to Mount Kimby, and Archie Marshall came up. I just saved this album without looking into it. I was like, oh, okay, that's King Krule. That's funny. I like King Krule a lot. I like this album a lot. You can kind of tell that it's early in his music career, not with the sake of not to the tune of poor production or poor vocals. Like, I mean, everything is relatively the same vocals wise. It's just the production is a little bit more like hip hop drum sampley, like interesting sampling all throughout. Reminds me a lot of like early Young Lean stuff. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but it just kind of sounds a lot like that. But yeah, I mean, it's his. I mean, he has such a unique voice. So he's a very distinct sound that works for him really well. And this album was interesting to hear that voice over such a different sort of production approach, and I appreciated that and I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go 76 hot dogs out of 100 for A New Place 2 Drown by Archie Marshall on the next album. Album number 3 of the week, The Alexander Technique by Rex Orange County. It's the first album front to back I listened to from Rex Orange County. Very familiar with his songs though. His feature on Boredom's great. Pluto Projector. First I've listened to of him since all those allegations came out. I actually didn't realize until recently that they had gotten dropped. So, good for Alex. I'm glad that, he's recovered his image, because I know for a while there he was kind of looked at, as a predator, offender kind of guy. But I'm glad that he's back on the map, because he really does have a great voice, and this album was really wonderful. And it just kind of feels as a recollection of events since that point, since his hiatus. And it's a very honest, very poignant. That's been like the story of a lot of the albums I've listened to recently, the honesty and the poignant quality of it. But it's been great. And this album I thought was wonderful. He has such a fantastic voice. A lot more British is coming through in this album, which I thought was interesting. Some really good instrumentals. Like the composition I thought was wonderful. Just a lot of great horns and strings. But that's always kind of been his thing. I can see why, he's one of the better working pop sort of, I guess you can call it pop, maybe like indie pop sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, he's wonderful. I quite enjoyed this album. I'm gonna go 82 hot dogs out of 100 for The Alexander Technique. One of the better albums this year, I'd have to say. Really, really solid. I'll have to go back and listen to more of Rex Orange County, because this album was great. And now I feel I can listen to it more after, seeing that he's not this cruddy guy. On to the next album. The actual number 3 of the week, England Made Me by Black Box Recorder. Came out in 1998. This is an album I came across by going through suggested albums for me with sounds similar to Cocteau Twins, Mojave 3, Massey Star. The guys that I've been hung up on for the last 2 or 3 months, just like that, female-led, indie, dream pop, dreamscapey kind of thing, and this album was great. 39 minutes. And this is honestly one of my favorite albums I've listened to of this genre. Similar to the Mojave 3 album, I believe, there is a mix. It's like a female-led group with male vocals under and throughout. I thought that really added to it. The opening track, I think Girl Singing in the Wreckage is what it's called, I thought was wonderful. It's just like little pieces with just like a repeating hook, Girl Singing in the Wreckage. I thought that just really added to it. And all throughout there was just there was a track. It's like Life is Hard. It's like Life is Hard, kill yourself to be free, or something along those lines. I probably butchered it, but I thought that was very impactful. Just like that repeating hook. They had a lot of that kind of thing throughout, where it's just a hook repeated itself just for the impact of it, and just like some really great simple instrumentals all throughout. Really, really solid project. I mean, like I said, like I love this genre of music. I really, really dig it. So I'm gonna go 84 hot dogs out of 100 with the realigned Week in Music scoring chart for England Made Me by Black Box Recorder. On to the next album. Album number 4 of the week, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis, came out in 1959. Familiar with Miles Davis, Bitches Brew, in a Silent Way. You know, one of the greatest jazz artists of all time. This album is featuring, my sweatpants are on backwards. This album is featuring John Coltrane, Bill Evans, Cannonball Adderley, a bunch of other jazz greats. I am a very big fan of Mr. Bill Evans. This album was wonderful. I went on my treadmill for 45 minutes, 10 incline, 3 speed. What was it, 45 minutes is what I said? Played Pokemon Leaf Green. Listened to this album. Honestly, a very unique state of euphoria was I was in while listening to this album. It's just such a... I mean, I love jazz albums like this, where it just puts you in that club. Like, I'm just there with like a, you know, old-fashioned on a nice napkin, and they're just going to town, dimly lit, you know, it's like 11 p.m. It's like that scene in Eyes Wide Shut, when Tom Cruise goes to see his buddy playing the piano at the jazz club. It's just like that vibe, just like, you know, it's like a New York street side bar, and just listening to jazz, like it just puts you there. And just such incredible artists surrounding him. I thought it was just such a wonderful medley. Fantastic. You know, Miles Davis, he's one of the greats. There's no doubt about that. Give me 83 hot dogs out of 100 for Kind of Blue on the realigned Week in Music rating system. On to the next album. Album number 5 of the week. Finally got around to listening to Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. Came out this year, obviously. Her sophomore studio album. That's what she's marketing it as, but she has been making music for a while, but whatever. As you know, I listened to, I don't know if you know this, listener, but the second album I listened to this year, why are those lights so cool? That's my candle. The second album I listened to this year was Emails I Can't Send Forward. Maybe it was the third one. I think it was the third one, like from the first episode of this series. Emails I Can't Send Forward. Alright album. Hasn't really aged that well for me since listening to it. Feather's still in my rotation. I love that song, but the rest of it was okay. I'm not really the target audience, I feel like, for her kind of music, and I felt the same way with this album as well. Espresso, though, one of the best songs of the summer. Just such a fantastic, you know, pop earworm. Pretty Please was alright. My issue with a lot of her songs is the inclusion of a country twang to it. Like, I really do not like pop country, like the new kind of country wave where it's this pop sort of, you know, the pace of it, I guess, bass production in country. I think it just kind of ruins the authenticity of it. And this is kind of like the reverse engineering of it, where it's like a traditionally, you know, pop artist, you know, a huge star like her, and just like having this country twang. And maybe, you know, it's something with, like, I don't even know if she's like from, you know, like Tennessee or like one of those places where country is big, but I don't know. It always kind of defers me from enjoying the song. But, you know, whatever. Great album. I can see why, you know, these tracks are as big as they are. She's been like 74 weeks at number 1 in England or something crazy. She's great. I like Sabrina Carpenter. Okay album. It was all right. I enjoyed it. I'm going to go 71 hot dogs out of 100 realigned Week in Music chart for Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. On to the next album. That was a bad wink. Okay. And now I'm back. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave a comment about some albums you want me to listen to, and that's all I got. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.